It's a lot. All righty, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you'll just, yeah, it's in there, thank you. Everybody please silence your mobile devices, and Commissioner Steve Pittman, would you lead us in your invocation this morning?
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to come out and serve the county this morning. God, thank you for each and every one represented here. Guide us in our decisions. Go with us throughout the remainder of the week, God. Help us to always put you first in our lives. Thank you for all your blessings. That's his prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Mr. Allen Cook, would you lead us in our pledge? Yes.
Stand, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone is aware of our ethics and awareness conflict of interest reminder. Does any of the board members have any conflicts of interest that they would like to make known at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6, which is our additions or changes to the agenda. Does anyone have any of those today? Okay. Moving right along then, we will need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Clayton. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Motion carries. All right. Has everybody had time to read the minutes from June the 3rd?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Steve. Do we have a second for Steve's motion?
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Item 9 this morning is items for discussion, and so item 9A is going to be our 2024-2025 budget ordinance. And I will
Speak about, she's been working hard on getting that budget ordinance together.
Okay, this is the budget ordinance for 24-25. You'll see it's gotten a little longer in the last few years. I think it's about 8 pages this year, and I think this is from all the different projects and funds we've got going on right now. But I wanted to say thanks to you guys for a wonderful budget season. I think it went really well with, got a lot of hard work and we got it done. And got it done and didn't have to make we didn't make any last minute changes. So that was good. So the general fund, ended up being 25,355,627. And then following the general fund, you'll see all the special revenue funds, all the grant funds. The tax rate, of course, remains at 56,100. But did anybody have any questions? Did anyone that you want me to speak to?
I think you were pretty thorough with it.
It's pretty detailed. If you don't have any questions, then it was pretty routine this year. Make it up to all the funds, but that's all I have.
Say that our finance staff, is pretty routine for a reason. They were able to get in there and, work in the trenches, figure it out, come up with, ways to make ends meet. So I do want to put a special thanks out to, Mavis, Christie, and Allison. And of course, this board had they gave us the input to do the budget, and you all were there, you were present, you weighed in, you did, what folks voted for you to do. You helped us out and helped us keep this county budget running in a very fiscal manner.
All right, so we'll need to go ahead and vote.
I'll make a move, we adopt the budget. Second.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Brendan. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Motion carries. The next item up for discussion is item 9B, which is our budget amendment number 10 for fiscal year 23-24.
And I will talk about that just a moment. We did have a lot of moving targets this year in the budget. I promise next year we will not do 10 budget amendments. I did this just because it was a little bit easier on me to keep up with them as things were changing. And I will say one thing about this year's budget is I'm a little shocked and pleased. We got April sales tax last week. And Mitchell County's holding really well and really strong on sales tax, whereas other parts of the state have already started to see a pretty dramatic decline. Flattening or decline. So we're one of the few that is still, Western North Carolina is still doing really well with sales tax. So I'm thankful for that. And because of that, I think we're going to come in a little bit stronger on this year's budget than back in January and February that I was thinking we would come in at. So I'm pleased. We've still got May and June sales tax to come. And usually those are our stronger months. So I'm hoping we won't see the decline yet. I'm just hoping we can hold good on that into the coming year too. But
And what do you think that's contributed to? Just like online purchases, because those benefit the county.
yes, they do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like grocery pickup or Amazon purchases or.
I don't know.
Construction projects.
Construction project does have a lot to do with it.
Mhm.
And what's gonna happen is, of course, annually, we file to get our reimbursement of sales tax that we have actually paid. And so all those construction pieces are gonna go into that.
Mhm.
And we're probably gonna see a month there when we do the refund portion that you're gonna see a little bit of a drop, but overall, it's doing good.
Same steady.
It's doing better than steady right now. It's really good. So I hope, I don't know. The other thing that you'll notice about this last budget amendment is I had to do a budget amendment in several of the funds. And that's because this was grant money that came in this past year that we hadn't originally budgeted for, number one. And number two, because of those funds coming in and us putting those in money market funds and invested those funds, we had interest, which we did not know at the time when we got the money, how much that was gonna be. So most of those funds, you will see there's been some interest added. And as you know, with all of these projects and all of these funds, any interest that you earn has to stay with that project. So, for example, the opioid money, it's sitting there, it's earning interest. That interest has to stay with that fund and be used for the same purpose that the original funds were for. So that's one reason we have to keep them all separate. So you will see some budget amendments, and it's mainly for interest. Vehicle tax actually is coming in a little bit stronger than we had anticipated. So you'll see a small, about a $20,000 budget amendment in vehicle tax. And I guess people have maybe traded, it was kind of flat during COVID, and I guess now people are starting to trade up or trade cars. Vehicle tax is a little bit stronger than it had been. Any questions though, anything pop out at you that I can answer?
The only thing that I see on revenue decreases, it looks like, DSS in different areas have been.
That's been a real moving target.
Federal.
Federal.
State.
But I think mid-year, we had actually increased that a little bit. And then we've decided to bring it back down because it doesn't quite look like we're going to make that target. Again, I don't know how much it's affected. Tammy would have to answer you this, but where you have turnover or you have jobs that stay empty for a month or two, and if that was a job that say you were getting some reimbursement for a percentage of that job, if that job's left empty, of course, there's nothing to file to get reimbursement on. So that does affect it a little bit because, you know, if you're not spending it, we don't ask for reimbursement, of course. So that could have something to do with it. And it could be that we just really overestimated early on programs. Again, we're 2 months behind on that revenue. So I'd rather be conservative than to over budget it. And right now, if you look at how it's tracking, we're not tracking to get as much as we had budgeted, so I pulled it back a little bit. Again,
But in saying that, those numbers could change.
they could change because we've got 2 more months. It's like sales tax. We've still got May and June. And May tends to be one of her larger months, but it's just really hard to anticipate that. Again, you'll see where we've done well on our interest revenue, which is helping make up for some of that. And again, in expenses, like I've done in the past, we kind of throw a few extra dollars in certain areas because we still do have all of June's utilities and things to pay in July, so we kind of put a little extra because we don't want to overspend in any expense areas. It's okay if we come over in revenues, we just don't want to be over in expenses, so we made some adjustments in there.
There's no more questions or comments from Mavis, but we'll need a motion to approve the budget amendment number 10. That Mavis has presented to us.
So moved.
Thank you, Clayton.
Second.
Thank you, Steve. All in favor, vote by usual sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Mavis. And just a reminder, our next meeting is next Monday, and we do have 3 people that'll be here. You'll be out of town, Jeff, right? You're on vacation. You'll be here. Will you be here? Okay. All right, then we need a motion to adjourn.
Masters,
Yes.
Chairman Masters. Before we adjourn,
Mhm.
and I didn't know this should be added to the agenda for discussion after. Or, I think we need to set a date for sometime in July for our opioid money. Discussion on that, how that's gonna be presented, because we're getting on a pretty close timetable for that,
When will you be back from vacation?
the 3rd
Oh, okay.
that week. It's just very short.
So. Oops. All right, everybody will get some dates together and shoot them to Alan. I guess I think we tentatively have a second meeting scheduled in July. So
Could we do that as a special call meeting possibly and just discuss the opioid?
I'm sure we
That might be a
can.
good way for y'all to schedule, so that we just do the second meeting to be an opioid dedicated meeting.
So if everybody would just, let Alan know what your schedule is, if that works with him, and then he can let us know what's good with everybody.
Meeting is in July 22nd to the 20th. Should be here. I'll be here 16.
I'm catching some confirmation. I got 2 here, Clayton, Harley, you be here.
I know I'm here.
Brandon.
That's fine.
Okay, well, let's just go ahead, rather than email, let's just go ahead and tentatively do that. That's a 6 p.m. meeting.
Okay.
July 16th, 6 p.m. and we'll just get that locked in.
All right. I believe we had a motion on the table to adjourn by Brandon. Was there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Steve. All in favor? Okay. 14.
That's a record. I love it. I love it.
Steve, there's Danish and donuts and stuff in the break room. Okay. I'd like to kill that. Good to see you.
I almost had it at 7 o'clock this morning. That's good. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Most things we.
Give you guys an update on the report to the board, report to the board, and I just give you guys a back. Is that all right? Sorry to interrupt you. Is that? No.
You can't. We can't.
Oh, there's 5.
Let's get at it. Yeah, you have to do it 2 by 2, yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll do it 2 by 2. Not a problem. Thanks for this.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm not next.
California all straight.
What's up?
Is the owl off?
No, it's not Alphonse trying to get it, it's not.
All right, I'm gonna go to my desk.
And I'll go to my desk.
Okay, thank you.
You guys just stopped by.
Jay, you got a vote yet today?
We-
Got your Superman.